there was a fight in Phoenix, and we have a local news report about it. It was between two neighbors. They're going to say many different times in this report you're about to see that it was not racial. I don't really know why they say that, because listen to the report, and then I'll give you one other fact at the end, and see if we can determine if it in fact was racial and related to the Arizona law that just passed or not. Let's go to clip number 10.
Police say race was not a factor in a deadly shooting tonight. Officers tell us it was a neighborhood argument where one person just happens to be white and the other Hispanic. In this breaking news update, ABC 15's Christina Boomer explains why the victim's family members say there's more to it.
Men choked on their words. Women cried after learning from police that one of their neighbors shot and killed another. Investigators say the two men have lived near each other for years. Neighbors say their families go back even further. Eyewitnesses and police say a white man approached his Hispanic neighbor and then shot and killed him. What the two talked about, that's something police are still investigating. Family members of the victim gave us these pictures. His sister explains what she says the accused shooter said to her brother.
But he was yelling, telling him, you go back home where you belong. We are all American citizens here.
There were some racial slurs that were thrown. The information that I have at this time doesn't appear that this was racially motivated. It appears to be a neighborhood dispute.
Police say even if he used a racial slur during the passionate argument, it doesn't necessarily mean the shooter killed his neighbor because of his race. But the victim's family thinks this had everything to do with the color of his skin.
We are devastated and our hearts are broken by what has happened. In shock, you can say, and to know that it has happened, you know, to my brother, someone who loves life, and this man has taken it away from him.
I don't get it, because in the beginning it said that it wasn't about race, so I assumed that there was going to be another explanation. Legitimately, you know, that they had an argument about how one guy is going into the other guy's lawn or something, and then in the middle of, and it happens, in the middle of a fight he actually throws out a racial slur, but that wasn't what the fight was about. But it turns out that was what the fight was about. It turns out that they were originally fighting, and this is from an article related to this story, about Arizona's new illegal immigration law. So the argument is about whether, you know, they should, you know, go ask for identification from largely Latino community in Arizona. Obviously the topic is race. It's not, hey, did your dog come into my yard? And then in the middle of an argument about race, the guy shoots him and calls him a wetback and tells him to go back home where you belong. And the police admit that there were racial slurs used. So what part of that wasn't racial? I don't get it. I mean, there was another case in Arizona. I don't want to get too deep into it, but they claimed an illegal immigrant killed a white farmer, I believe it was, and that's not entirely clear at all. But that was considered like obviously racial. Obviously racial. Immigrant guy kills white guy, super racial. Why is this not racial? I'm totally open to the fact that it's not racial, but it looks like it is. So I don't know why the news report says 100 times it's not, and the police say 100 times it's not. JR makes a good point. It could be that they don't want to stoke up racial concerns because then it might get out of control. So maybe that's why the cops are saying it's not racial when it appears to be obviously racial. Right. So, and if they're doing that, I could understand that a little bit more, and maybe that's right. But look, I've learned from the Republicans, and I think I have a solution to this. I think that the guy who's charged here, 50-year-old Gary Thomas Kelly, we should make sure we don't read him as Miranda warnings, and we should revoke his citizenship. Okay? Because that's what Lieberman and the Republicans tell me that we should do. Whenever you have a suspect, first thing you do is don't read him as Miranda warnings. I mean, he killed someone here, already charged with murder, right? Murder. The other guy, the Times Square bomber, terrible, okay, suspected terrorist. The bomb, thank God, didn't go off, so no one died. Here we have someone dead. I mean, if you don't strip a guy's Miranda warnings and his American citizenship based on that, what do you strip him of? No, of course, he's gone, no. And I'm sure that all the Republicans in Arizona will agree with me. No? Why not? Think about it.